really a lot of fun to play, and I think there's a wealth of things that will help the player become a lot better player by working on that piece. So, first I have a list of fingerings, which I'll not just show you each one, but a lot of them are involved as far as lefts and right pinkies. There is the problem is, do you walk back and forth between the F and the F sharp, or do you use the F sharp like this and then go to the E like this? And that's the question that you'll have to try for the student and help them decide which one they do the best. Okay, sometimes either way can create some problems, and I think you'll just have to find out. What you don't want to do is slide, and you want to avoid as many obvious things as possible. I've listed some other chromatic fingerings on here. So give those a try and see how they work for you. Okay, staccato techniques. And I've referred you to a really, really good book on clarinet staccato by Daniel Bonad, the great player. The airstream being constant, the tongue returning to the reed lightly. If it returns to the reed in heavy manner, then that's where the clarinet gets its bad reputation. You want to turn the tongue as lightly as possible. The tip of the reed should go to the tip of the reed very lightly. Finding a reed that works really well. Fingers ahead is basically where you keep the finger a little bit ahead of the note, and so it moves a little bit into the space. That has to be demonstrated for the student. They're probably not going to figure that out on their own. That helps some students. And the thinking of stretching the first slurred note so you don't tend to race through it. I was going to play just another thing to think about when you're playing this one is have the students start extremely slow. And I mean, if it doesn't sound pretty perfect at a slow tempo, then you have no business trying at a faster tempo. I mean, it's not going to happen. It'll be fast and slow. If it's slow and sloppy, it's going to be fast and extra sloppy. And so I think it needs to go really, really slow. And that's why you can't wait till the last moment before the audition to learn a piece like this. Your fingers have to go through that real slow process, and it's really kind of fun to play when you think, well, that sounds pretty cool. Music sounds cool, it's at a slow tempo, if you're doing it correctly. So I think that that's something to remember there. Okay, so articulation style in measure one, you can think of the three notes being a pickup to the next beat. If that's kind of a mental deal, if that helps a student, so that they don't group the notes. If you group the notes and the rhythm's wrong, then it's not going to sound correct. So some suggestions for preparation, as I mentioned, start early, and a lot of times they'll start too late to learn the music well. Using a metronome, my friend the metronome. There's a lot of really good metronomes. I like this one, because you can hear it. I mean, some of the little metronomes, you put them on the stand, and for me they're a little hard to hear. You probably wondering, what kind is this one? This is Sabine, Zip Beat, and whether it's still made or not, I don't know, but I'm sure something like it is still made. Start very slow, working up speed. Tape recording, make some kind of recording of yourself playing. I don't know about you, but when you listen to a recording, you think, gee, I thought it was better than that. We would probably all think that. You play it live, you think, that's really pretty good, until you hear it and you think, oh my. Yeah, I'm hearing all kinds of things that I didn't realize I was doing. That includes you and me and all of us involved. Finding a private teacher, even a couple. I grew up in the Valley in McAllen, and they had a very good band then. But to take private lessons, I had to drive to Corpus Christi. And so every once in a while on a Saturday, my mom would get in the car and we'd drive, hour and a half, whatever it was, to get to Corpus Christi. And it helped, having Bruce Thomas to give us some help really made a difference. And it wasn't weekly. It was just whenever we could manage it. And he was a very good teacher. Having good reads, I think, is important. Well, sometimes I'll find a student and you look at the reed on the back and it's turning black. You know, that goes to the science lab then. You can use it. You have black mold on your reed. Yeah, practicing some every day, whether it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour, whatever it might be. Practicing a little bit. And then find that you can memorize. If you memorize the music, then you know it's yours. So they can hold mock auditions. Those are kind of fun to do. And go in for a really nice sound, you know. Building technique, I've listed some things from the Lazarus Method book. If you need a book, that's a good one for, as, you know, the scales and thirds and all that. So, okay, I think that's pretty much all. Does anybody have any questions or comments or anything? I hope.
At the very top of the Allegro, are the little markings, is that cut off or are you showing?
Let me get a copy of this.
I know that's
Oh, yeah, that was the mental thing of thinking 3 notes, picking as they were pickups to the next beat. I don't. Hopefully, you didn't really think that when I was playing it. Da 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 da. I don't want that. And if that doesn't help the student, then tell them to ignore it. That's the best thing. If something doesn't work for you, don't use it. Okay.
Where are the K's, R's, and S's?
Oh, okay. The cross key. Well, okay. The thing is, I can't see without glasses. Okay. I call this the cross key. Why? Because Dr. Shanley, when I went to Baylor long ago, I think he's the one that called it that, as opposed to the middle. The 2 side keys for producing the F sharp on the first bass. That's what the S stands for. Can you find another one? Of course, right and left would be the one above the F sharp in 20. Of course, that would be F sharp with the first finger, the normal first finger F sharp. Is there anything in there other than that looks? And of course, there's the octave C sharp, which didn't work for me a while ago. I'm really sorry about that. It could be much worse than that. I want you to know. You know, I get that. I get it perfect there about 2/3 of the time, maybe. Sometimes half the time, and then some of the times it's just all the notes. You know, none of it works. And so, I think finding a tempo. If the student starts off too fast, it's not going to be good. Like the suggested tempo is 96. I don't know. I was probably going close to 90. I don't know. I don't really know. Hopefully it wasn't 96. If they can do it 96 or 100 or whatever. But if you get to there and then it just all collapses, that's a really hard measure. So if you don't play clarinet, I should tell you that's the hardest measure. Like I say, some of the ones, the cross keys, if that fingering doesn't work for you and your student, well then, you know, use what one you think would work best. I think that's all. Are there any other fingerings or things you can think about?